If your joints ache and hold you back, swapping just one food like bacon for salmon could bring real relief. We're forever healthy, and today we're bringing you a special episode that blends insights from two of our most watched videos. 5 worst foods that worsen rheumatoid arthritis, and 7 best foods to support joint health. If you wake up stiff, struggle with walking, or feel like your body's working against you, this guide offers simple food-based steps to help you move more freely after 60. Let's dive in. Food 1. Salmon. Let's start with one of the most potent anti-inflammatory foods for seniors with rheumatoid arthritis: salmon. Salmon is more than just a tasty fish. It's one of the richest sources of omega-3 fatty acids, a type of healthy fat that fights inflammation. When you have rheumatoid arthritis, your immune system produces inflammatory chemicals called cytokines, which trigger pain, swelling, and joint stiffness. The omega-3s in salmon help block these cytokines, giving your joints a much-needed break from constant attack. But the benefits don't stop there. Salmon also provides high-quality protein, which helps maintain muscle strength, significant after 60 when muscle mass naturally declines. It's rich in vitamin D, a crucial nutrient that supports immune balance and may help reduce the overactivity behind RA flare-ups. This trio, omega-3s, protein, and vitamin D, makes salmon a near-perfect food for seniors. It doesn't just reduce inflammation, it supports mobility, strength, and bone health. And because rheumatoid arthritis can raise your risk of heart disease, the heart protective effects of omega-3s are a bonus. You don't need a complicated recipe to enjoy the benefits. A 4-ounce piece of grilled salmon, roughly the size of a deck of cards, is enough. Try brushing it with olive oil, adding lemon juice, and baking it with herbs for a simple dinner. Or, for extra convenience, use canned salmon in a salad or spread it on whole grain toast for a quick lunch. If you're not a fan of salmon, don't worry. Other fatty fish like sardines or mackerel can offer similar benefits. Up next, we'll look at a golden spice that's been used for centuries to ease joint pain and now has the science to back it up: processed meats, the hidden inflammation trap. Let's start with one of the most beloved staples of the American breakfast table: processed meats like bacon, sausage, ham, and deli slices. They're quick, savory, and comforting for many to start the day. But when you're living with rheumatoid arthritis, these familiar foods can quietly become one of the most damaging things on your plate. Processed meats are considered pro-inflammatory, meaning they actively promote inflammation. They're often high in saturated fats, sodium, and preservatives like nitrates and nitrites, compounds that may trigger an immune response in people with autoimmune conditions like RA. In simple terms, they don't just feed your appetite, they feed the fire burning in your joints. A study published in Frontiers in Nutrition found that frequent consumption of processed meats was associated with elevated C-reactive protein, CRP levels, a key marker of systemic inflammation for seniors with RA that translates directly to more morning stiffness, joint swelling, and flare-ups that can last days. Beyond the preservatives, processed meats contain advanced glycation end products, or AGEs. These compounds form when meats are cured, smoked, or cooked at high temperatures. AGEs accumulate in the body over time and have been shown to contribute to oxidative stress and inflammation, particularly in the joints. This can worsen cartilage degradation, slow healing, and amplify pain, especially in knees, fingers, and wrists already affected by RA. But the challenge isn't just the science, it's the habit. Many older adults have been eating these foods for decades. They're tied to memory, comfort, and routine. Bacon sizzling on a Sunday morning, a slice of ham on a sandwich at lunch. It's not just about food, it's about familiarity. That's why we're not here to tell you to cut it all out today. Instead, we want to help you notice how your body responds when you shift slightly. Try this. Swap your bacon or sausage with a protein that supports joint health rather than worsens it. For example, grilled salmon or canned sardines offer omega-3 fatty acids that actively reduce inflammation. If you prefer plant-based options, scrambled tofu with turmeric or a lentil patty with garlic can be satisfying and supportive of joint function. Even better, many seniors report noticing a change as little as 7 to 10 days after making this swap. Less stiffness in the morning, fewer painful flares, and most importantly, the feeling that you've regained some control over your body. And if you're thinking, but I'm too used to bacon, this isn't about perfection, it's about progress. You don't need to change every meal. One thoughtful switch in your weekly routine can shift the tide of inflammation in your favor. So pause for a moment when you reach for a slice of ham or throw a few sausages into the pan. Ask yourself, is this serving me or my symptoms? In the next section, we'll look at something even more sneaky, an ingredient that hides in healthy snacks and drinks and makes your joints hurt long after eating. Stay with us because this one catches almost everyone by surprise. Food 2, turmeric. Next on our list is a spice that might already be sitting quietly in your kitchen cabinet, turmeric. Don't let its simplicity fool you. This golden yellow powder, often used in curries and stews, is one of nature's most potent tools against inflammation. At the heart of turmeric is a compound called curcumin. For people with rheumatoid arthritis, curcumin does something remarkable. It interrupts the same biological signals that trigger swelling and joint pain. A recent study found that curcumin can ease inflammation as effectively as certain over-the-counter pain medications, without the digestive side effects that often come with long-term NSAID use. That's an important distinction, especially for older adults. As we age, our stomachs tend to become more sensitive, and many common medications can cause discomfort or harm if used too often. Turmeric offers a gentle, natural way to soothe joint inflammation without adding stress to your digestive system. But its benefits don't end there. Curcumin is also a potent antioxidant, helping to protect the cells in your joints from further damage. Some research suggests it may even support brain health and reduce the risk of age-related memory decline, making it a powerful ally for more than just your knees or hands. You don't need much to see results. Just a teaspoon of turmeric a day can help. Try stirring it into soups, mixing it into warm milk, or blending it into smoothies. Always pair it with a pinch of black pepper for better absorption. The compound piperine boosts curcumin's effects dramatically. If the flavor feels too strong, turmeric capsules are also an option. But always check with your doctor first, especially if you're taking blood thinners. With its rich color and even richer benefits, turmeric is a simple way to bring comfort back into your daily routine. Next, let's explore another kitchen hero, this time with a spicy kick that's been used for centuries to calm inflammation from the inside out. Refined sugars, the sweet enemy in disguise. If you've been living with rheumatoid arthritis, chances are you've already heard that sugar isn't great for inflammation. But many people don't realize just how many forms refined sugar takes and how easily it sneaks into even the most innocent-looking foods. From your favorite breakfast cereal to that mid-afternoon granola bar or even a slice of healthy whole wheat bread, refined sugars are hidden in thousands of processed foods. And for someone over 60 with RA, those sugars can quietly worsen your symptoms without you connecting the dots. Refined sugar spikes your blood sugar quickly, leading to a burst of insulin and triggering an inflammatory cascade that affects the entire body, including your joints. In people with autoimmune conditions like RA, this reaction tends to be more intense and longer lasting. It's not just about weight or energy levels. Sugar can increase cytokines. The same proteins tell your immune system to attack your joints. According to a study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, consuming high amounts of refined sugar was directly linked to increased levels of interleukin-6, IL-6, and tumor necrosis factor alpha, TNF-alpha, both key markers of inflammation in RA. These molecules don't just raise inflammation, they prolong flare-ups and slow recovery after even minor joint stress. And perhaps most frustrating of all, sugar doesn't always come with a warning label. It's disguised under names like high fructose corn syrup, dextrose, maltose, and cane juice. It can hide in salad dressings, yogurt, ketchup, and even light or low-fat products, which often add sugar to replace lost flavor. Many older adults fall into this trap without realizing it. You might start the day with a fruit-flavored yogurt, grab a granola bar for a quick snack, and enjoy a small dessert after dinner. None of it extreme. But the cumulative effect of those sugar spikes, repeated day after day, can quietly aggravate your RA, leaving your joints more swollen, stiff, and tender than they need to be. The good news? This is one of the easiest and fastest places to make a positive change. Try this. Skip the flavored yogurt for 1 week and choose plain Greek yogurt with cinnamon and fresh berries. Instead of granola bars, keep a small bag of almonds or apple slices on hand. If dessert is a must, try a baked pear or a piece of dark chocolate, over 70%, paired with a cup of herbal tea. These choices satisfy a sweet tooth, but won't stimulate your immune system similarly. Many people notice less fatigue and morning stiffness within the first 7 to 10 days of reducing refined sugars. One viewer from our last video shared that cutting soda alone helped her wake up feeling looser and lighter after just 4 days. And let's be clear, this isn't about giving up everything sweet. It's about noticing how the wrong kind of sugar in the wrong places keeps your inflammation cycle going. Once you begin to recognize the patterns and feel the results of even a modest cutback, it becomes easier to choose foods that support you, not sabotage you. If you're unsure, try this simple test. Cut out refined sugars for 10 days. Keep a journal of how your joints feel each morning, how easily you get out of bed, how long the stiffness lasts, and whether your energy is better. That alone can tell you more than any nutrition label. Because sometimes it's not what you know, it's what you feel. In our next section, we'll look at another group of foods that seem harmless and helpful, but can wreak havoc on your joints, especially when you're over 60. And chances are you've got them in your pantry right now. Stay with us. Food 3. Ginger. Suppose turmeric is the calm, steady hand of natural inflammation relief. In that case, ginger is the bold, warming partner that simultaneously wakes your senses and soothes your joints. Used for thousands of years in traditional medicine, ginger has now earned its place in modern science for its impressive anti-inflammatory power, especially in people with rheumatoid arthritis. What gives ginger its healing properties are compounds like gingerol and shogol. These natural chemicals act like gentle regulators inside your body, blocking the formation of inflammatory molecules that make your joints swell, ache, and feel stiff. A 2021 study confirmed what many seniors already feel firsthand. Consistent use of ginger can reduce joint pain and improve mobility in people living with RA. But ginger's benefits go beyond the joints. For those over 60, digestion often becomes more sensitive, and ginger helps here too. It naturally supports the digestive process, reduces bloating, and can ease nausea or stomach upset. This makes it easier to maintain a healthy, anti-inflammatory diet without discomfort. The best part? Ginger is incredibly easy to include in your routine. A teaspoon of freshly grated ginger, or even half that if using the dried version, is usually enough. You can simmer it in hot water for a comforting tea, stir it into soups, or add a touch to stir-fry vegetables or smoothies for a spicy, warming kick. If chewing or intense flavors are a concern, try slicing ginger thin and steeping it with honey and lemon for a mild but effective infusion. Ginger supplements also exist. As always, check with your doctor if you're taking blood-thinning medications. Ginger is simple, spicy, and deeply soothing. It adds more flavor to your day. It helps calm inflammation from within and supports your body where it needs it most. Now let's shift from spice to crunch. With a powerful plant-based source of omega-3s, you can grab by the handful. Fried foods. How crispy turns costly for your joints. Fried foods are hard to resist. Whether it's a golden brown piece of chicken, a plate of French fries, or even crispy onion rings at your favorite diner, something about the crunch and flavor feels comforting, especially when paired with a familiar meal or shared with family. But suppose you're living with rheumatoid arthritis after 60. In that case, fried foods may quietly undo the progress you're trying to make. The main problem lies not just in the food, but in how it's cooked. When foods are deep fried, they absorb large amounts of unstable fats, especially omega-6 fatty acids from oils like corn, soybean, and vegetable blends. While some omega-6s are essential in small quantities, the typical American diet has too many of them, and insufficient omega-3s to balance the inflammatory response. This imbalance is especially harmful for people with RA, whose immune systems are already overactive. According to research published in Autoimmunity Reviews, a high intake of omega-6 rich fried foods can amplify the body's production of inflammatory cytokines, worsening joint pain and increasing the frequency and intensity of flare-ups. And that's not the only concern. Frying foods at high temperatures creates compounds known as advanced glycation end products, AGEs, the same troublemakers we saw in processed meats. These compounds are absorbed into the body and accumulate in tissues, particularly around joints, triggering oxidative stress and driving chronic inflammation. Moreover, AGEs have been linked to a decline in collagen integrity, meaning they don't just inflame your joints, they may also weaken the connective tissues that help cushion them. If you've ever noticed that your joints feel stiffer the morning after a fried meal, or if a weekend of takeout seems to lead to lingering pain, this might be why. For many older adults, the effects of fried foods aren't immediate like indigestion. They build up quietly, fueling a fire that's already smoldering. The good news? You don't have to give up all your favorite meals. You must change how you prepare them. Try roasting chicken thighs with olive oil, garlic, and herbs. You'll still get the satisfaction of a crispy texture, but without the inflammatory oils. Craving something crunchy? Air fryers are a fantastic alternative for getting that crispy edge without soaking your food in oil. Even pan sautéing with avocado oil, high in monounsaturated fats, can offer your joints a flavorful and gentler option. Another tip, try focusing on the spices that give fried foods their appeal. Paprika, garlic powder, black pepper, and turmeric can bring depth to a meal without inflammation. Bake or grill your food with bold seasoning blends and a splash of lemon juice for brightness. It's often the flavor we crave, not the oil. Within a week or two of limiting fried foods, many seniors report feeling lighter, having fewer swollen joints, and even sleeping better, since nighttime pain and stiffness often improve with reduced inflammation. And if you've relied on fried foods because they're convenient or budget-friendly, know that many healthier options are just as quick. A can of tuna, a handful of roasted chickpeas, or a baked sweet potato with olive oil can be prepped in minutes and support your joints rather than stress them. This isn't about guilt. Fried foods have been a part of many American lives for decades, and they bring back memories of family gatherings, comfort meals, and celebrations. But with RA, the cost of those crispy bites can be higher than we realize. You don't need to ban them forever. Just ask yourself, how do I feel the next day? Do I notice a difference when I bake instead of fry? Your joints may already be giving you the answers. Next, we'll explore a food group that often wears a healthy label but can cause just as much inflammation as fried chicken, especially when it becomes a daily habit. It fills your plate, but might be draining your energy from the inside out. Food 4. Walnuts. Not all omega-3s come from fish. Suppose you're looking for a plant-based way to fight inflammation. In that case, walnuts are one of the best choices you can make, especially if you're battling rheumatoid arthritis. Walnuts are packed with alpha-linolenic acid, or ALA, a type of omega-3 fatty acid found in plants. A 2020 study published in the British Journal of Nutrition showed that regular walnut consumption was linked to lower inflammation levels, particularly in individuals with chronic inflammatory conditions like RA. That means fewer flares, less stiffness, and more ease in everyday movement. But the benefits of walnuts don't stop with your joints. As we age, our risk for heart disease and cognitive decline increases, especially for people with RA. Fortunately, walnuts also support heart health by helping lower LDL, bad cholesterol, and may even improve memory and brain function. One small handful can do a lot of quiet work behind the scenes. Each ounce of walnuts, roughly 7 whole pieces, offers about 2.5 grams of ALA, protein, fiber, and essential antioxidants. They're also easy to digest and naturally low in sugar, making them an ideal snack for seniors managing joint pain and energy levels. Adding walnuts to your diet doesn't require any cooking. Eat them on their own, mix them into oatmeal, sprinkle them over yogurt, or toss them into a salad for a satisfying crunch. If chewing is difficult, try crushed walnuts or grind them into a paste to spread on whole grain toast. Store them in the fridge to maintain freshness. They're rich in healthy oils that can go rancid if left out too long. Whether snacking or topping off a meal, walnuts are an innovative, satisfying way to nourish your joints and support your whole body. Next, explore something small, sweet, and surprisingly powerful: berries. Refined grains, soft, familiar, and secretly inflammatory. It's hard to imagine a meal without bread. Whether it's toast with your eggs, a sandwich at lunch, or a warm bowl of pasta at dinner, refined grains have long been a comforting part of the American diet, especially for those of us who grew up in a time when white bread was considered the healthier, more modern option. But for seniors living with rheumatoid arthritis, those same soft, familiar foods may be doing more harm than good, especially when eaten daily. Refined grains are stripped of their outer layers during processing, removing most of the fiber, antioxidants, and nutrients that once helped your body digest them slowly. What's left is a carbohydrate that the body converts into sugar very quickly, causing a spike in blood glucose and a corresponding rise in insulin. Why does this matter for RA? Because those blood sugar spikes don't just affect your energy, they also trigger a cascade of inflammatory responses in the body, especially in joints already prone to swelling and stiffness. According to a 2020 study in the journal Nutrients, refined carbohydrates like white bread and pasta were directly linked to higher levels of inflammatory markers, including interleukin-1 beta and TNF-alpha. These compounds worsen RA flare-ups, prolong recovery, and break down joint tissue over time. And here's the tricky part. Because these foods digest so quickly, they don't keep you full for long. That often leads to overeating or reaching for sugary snacks a couple of hours later, which only fuels the inflammation cycle. Refined grains also lack the magnesium and B vitamins naturally found in whole grains, which are essential for muscle function, nerve health, and joint repair. For seniors already managing joint degeneration, this absence can further slow healing and reduce resilience after activity. But again, this isn't about blame, it's about awareness. The white toast you reach for each morning, the bagel at your favorite coffee shop, the noodles you cook for your grandkids, all of these can be part of a memory, a rhythm, a routine. That's why we don't suggest cutting everything out at once. Instead, we encourage thoughtful swaps that still honor what you enjoy, just in a way that supports your joints. Here's one idea. Try a slice of sprouted grain bread or sourdough made with whole wheat instead of white bread. These options digest more slowly and don't spike your blood sugar as aggressively. Want pasta? Choose chickpea, quinoa, or brown rice pasta. They cook similarly but offer fiber and protein that help keep inflammation in check. Even oatmeal can be a great morning choice, especially when topped with anti-inflammatory foods like walnuts, cinnamon, or blueberries. It satisfies the carb comfort while supporting your RA goals. Within 10 to 14 days of switching from refined grains to whole or alternative grains, many people notice reduced afternoon fatigue, fewer sugar cravings, and a gradual easing of joint stiffness. The change isn't dramatic overnight, but it's noticeable and builds. One subscriber from California shared that switching from white toast to sprouted grain bread each morning helped her feel more balanced by mid-morning. Fewer crashes, less stiffness, and no more overwhelming need for a nap before lunch. If you're starting, pick one meal per day to upgrade. Change the toast. Try a different pasta. Swap the bagel. No pressure, no perfection. Just progress, one plate at a time. And remember, this isn't about making food bad or good. Refined grains aren't evil. They're just not helping you when your joints are already under attack. You deserve food that supports you and works with your medications, energy, and goals. In the next section, we'll take a closer look at one final food that hides in plain sight. And while it's creamy and rich and often advertised as natural, it may be blocking your path to real relief more than you realize. Food 5, berries. Regarding small foods with significant benefits, berries are at the top. Whether you enjoy strawberries, blueberries, raspberries, or all three, these colorful fruits offer a potent mix of antioxidants that directly support joint health and reduce inflammation in people with rheumatoid arthritis. What gives berries their rich color also gives them their healing potential. They're full of anthocyanins, natural antioxidants that help calm the overactive immune responses that cause swelling and joint damage in RA. A 2019 European Journal of Clinical Nutrition study found that people who regularly consumed berries had lower levels of inflammatory markers in their blood and better heart health overall. That's no small thing. For seniors living with RA, heart disease is a genuine concern. Berries help on both fronts, protecting your joints and your cardiovascular system. They're also an excellent source of vitamin C, which your body uses to produce collagen. Collagen is the protein that helps maintain cartilage, the smooth tissue that cushions your joints. Supporting your collagen levels can mean less stiffness, better flexibility, and stronger joint protection. Even better, berries are naturally low in sugar and high in fiber, making them a sweet but smart choice, especially for older adults managing blood sugar or trying to maintain a healthy weight. They satisfy cravings without triggering inflammation the way processed desserts might. Aim for about 1 cup a day, fresh or frozen. Add them to oatmeal or yogurt, blend them into smoothies, or enjoy them as a snack. Frozen berries are just as nutritious and often more affordable, and if possible, choose organic. Your immune system will thank you for avoiding unnecessary pesticides. Simple, sweet, and intensely protective, berries are nature's gift for your taste buds and joints. Let's move on to a group of vegetables that bring serious strength to your bones and help calm inflammation at its root. Leafy greens. Food 6. Leafy greens. We once spoke with a retired teacher who loved gardening but had nearly given it up. Her knees were stiff, her balance was shaky, and she couldn't bend without pain. She didn't expect much when adding leafy greens to her meals, just a handful of spinach and a kale smoothie. But over time, her mornings began to feel different, easier, stronger. That's the quiet power of leafy greens. Vegetables like spinach, kale, collard greens, and Swiss chard are some of the most nutrient-dense foods you can eat, especially if you manage rheumatoid arthritis. They're loaded with vitamin K, which helps regulate the immune response and reduce inflammation, and vitamin C, which supports collagen production to maintain healthy cartilage in your joints. Think of leafy greens as armor for your body. They strengthen your defenses and build the structure that helps your joints move smoothly and without pain. For seniors, they offer another advantage: calcium and magnesium, 2 minerals essential for maintaining bone strength and reducing morning stiffness. Just 1 cup of cooked spinach delivers more than your daily requirement of vitamin K, along with generous amounts of magnesium and antioxidants. These aren't flashy nutrients, but they work behind the scenes, quietly keeping your joints stable, your bones strong, and your energy up. If chewing raw greens is difficult, you're not out of options. Lightly sautéing them with olive oil and garlic, blending them into soups, or adding them to smoothies can deliver all the same benefits in a more comfortable form. Aim to eat leafy greens at least 4 to 5 times a week. They're simple, affordable, and versatile. yet many overlook them. Don't let that be you, because when it comes to long-term joint health, leafy greens may be one of your strongest allies. Next, we'll finish our list with a liquid gold that brings everything together, inside your meals and your body: full-fat dairy and joint pain. Something undeniably comforting about dairy is warm milk at night, a slice of cheddar with crackers, and a creamy scoop of ice cream on a summer afternoon. For many of us, these foods aren't just nutrition, but memories. But suppose you're over 60 and living with rheumatoid arthritis. In that case, full-fat dairy might be one of the hidden culprits keeping your joints inflamed and your symptoms stubborn. Let's be clear, not all dairy is harmful, and not everyone with RA reacts the same way. However, research shows that certain compounds in full-fat dairy, especially the saturated fats found in whole milk, cheese, cream, and butter, can promote inflammation in people with autoimmune conditions. Saturated fat triggers pro-inflammatory pathways in the body, including the release of cytokines like TNF-alpha and interleukin-1. These are the same messengers involved in joint swelling, morning stiffness, and progressive joint damage in RA, and according to a study in the Journal of Nutrition and Inflammation, people who consumed diets higher in saturated fats, including dairy, had significantly higher markers of systemic inflammation than those who chose lower fat alternatives. For seniors, the concern doesn't stop at the fat content. Many dairy products also contain a naturally occurring protein called casein, which can provoke an immune response in some individuals. This doesn't mean everyone with RA is allergic to dairy, but rather that some people's immune systems may perceive casein as a threat, leading to low-grade inflammation that accumulates over time. You might notice it not as a dramatic reaction, but as a pattern: aching joints after pizza night, more stiffness following a creamy dessert, or lingering fatigue after a weekend with cheese-heavy meals. The other factor is digestion. As we age, our bodies produce less lactase, the enzyme that helps break down lactose, the sugar in milk. For those who are lactose intolerant or sensitive, even mildly, undigested lactose can contribute to bloating, discomfort, and systemic inflammation through changes in gut bacteria, all of which can compound RA symptoms. So what's the solution? It's not necessarily to quit all dairy forever, but to become more intentional about which kinds you consume and how often. Here's a place to start. If you drink whole milk, try switching to unsweetened almond, oat, or flax milk. These options are easy to find, low in saturated fat and often fortified with calcium and vitamin D, supporting bone health in seniors with RA. Craving cheese? Look for aged low-lactose varieties like Parmesan or goat cheese, and use them sparingly. Instead of cream-based dressings or sauces, try olive oil-based vinaigrettes or plant-based yogurts made from coconut or cashews. For a creamy snack, plain Greek yogurt, especially low-fat, can be a great option, offering probiotics that support gut health, which is increasingly linked to lower RA inflammation. Just be sure to choose one without added sugars, which, as we've seen, can undo the benefits quickly. Many people over 60 who begin reducing full-fat dairy report improvements in joint pain, digestion, energy, and sleep quality. One viewer wrote that after switching from whole milk to almond milk and cutting cheese daily to weekly, she noticed her hands felt less swollen and her morning stiffness eased up within 2 weeks. Like every step in this video, the goal isn't to strip away joy from your meals. It's to help you understand the foods that may be silently working against your progress, and to offer swaps that keep the flavor, the comfort, and the satisfaction without the price your joints pay. Try this simple shift next time you're reaching for that slice of cheese or pouring cream into your coffee. You might be surprised how much better your body feels when it's not busy fighting what you feed it. Food 7. Olive oil. If one ingredient ties this anti-inflammatory approach together, it's olive oil. Often called liquid gold in Mediterranean cultures, extra virgin olive oil isn't just heart healthy, it's a joint saver too. What makes it so powerful is a natural compound called oleocanthal. Research shows that oleocanthal works similarly to over-the-counter pain relievers, like ibuprofen, helping reduce inflammation and pain, but without the harsh side effects that can trouble older adults. For people with rheumatoid arthritis, this is especially meaningful. Less swelling, less stiffness, and more comfortable movement with every drizzle. But olive oil does more than reduce pain. It helps your body absorb other fat-soluble nutrients, like vitamin K from leafy greens or curcumin from turmeric, making every healthy choice more effective. It also supports heart health, lowers bad cholesterol, and protects your blood vessels from inflammation, key for seniors with RA, who are at higher risk for cardiovascular disease. We recommend choosing high-quality extra virgin olive oil and using about 2 tablespoons daily. Drizzle it over salads, cooked vegetables, or grilled fish like salmon. You can also sauté with it, use low to medium heat to preserve its nutrients. Store your olive oil in a dark glass bottle, away from heat and sunlight. This protects its flavor and keeps the antioxidants intact. And here's something important. Replacing unhealthy fats, like vegetable oils high in omega-6 or processed spreads, with olive oil is just as powerful as adding new foods. Sometimes, not what we include, but what we take away helps the body heal. Olive oil may be simple, but its impact is anything but small. It brings flavor, healing, and balance to your meals and joints. Here's the takeaway. Cut back on processed meats, sugar, and fried foods. Start today with more salmon, berries, and leafy greens to support your joint health. At Forever Healthy, small, steady changes can bring lasting comfort. Try one swap this week and let us know how it goes in the comments. If this helped, give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more senior-friendly health tips, and check out our next video on gentle RA exercises to keep you moving. And, of course, always talk to your doctor before changing your diet. We're with you every step of the way. See you soon.